In 527 AD, an Indian monk named Bodhidharma came to the Shaolin monastery and saw monks who had everything: time, silence, freedom from worldly concerns. They meditated for hours, read sacred texts, and yet they were weak in the literal, physical sense. They fell asleep during meditation. They couldn't endure long practices. Between what they wanted to do and what they could actually do lay an abyss. Bodhidharma locked himself in a cave and meditated for 9 years, staring at a wall. When he emerged, he didn't bring the monks a prayer or a text. He brought them a system for mastering body and mind that transformed ordinary people into legend. But I want to talk not about the legend. I want to talk about a specific problem. The moment when you know you need to act, and yet you don't move. You wait for motivation, inspiration, the right mood. Here is the most important thing. That moment will never come on its own. But there is a system that makes this fact completely irrelevant. The lie that paralyzes you. Most people believe that productive people differ from us in that they want to act. They enjoy getting up early. They wake up full of enthusiasm. And if you don't feel that same fire, it's simply because you don't have that drive. This idea is convenient because it removes responsibility. But researchers who studied the psychology of people with extraordinary productivity found something different. Olympic-level athletes, writers, entrepreneurs, almost all said the same thing. They just as often don't want to start. They feel the same resistance. They lie there thinking, maybe tomorrow. The difference isn't that they want to act more. The difference is that they understood. Waiting for desire is a trap. Neuroscientists put it more precisely. Motivation does not precede action. Motivation follows action. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter the brain associates with the feeling of "I want," isn't produced in the moment of thinking. It's produced in the moment of beginning action, even if that action is microscopic. You're waiting for the fire to take a step, but the fire only appears after the step has already been taken. Principle 1. Wu Wei, action without struggle. Imagine a river. It encounters rocks, rapids, fallen trees, but it doesn't attack obstacles head-on. It flows around them, finds the path of least resistance. This is Wu Wei, action without effort. Not passivity, but something more subtle. To move in such a way that the system moves with you. Most people imagine discipline as constant internal struggle, the weak you against the strong you. But willpower, like any muscle without rest, eventually fails. Wu Wei offers a way out. Redesign your environment so that the necessary action becomes the path of least resistance. Want to train every morning? The night before, lay your workout clothes right beside the bed. Make it so there is no decision between you and the start of your workout. Want to read more? Remove the phone from your nightstand and put a book there instead. Want to eat better? Go to the store on a full stomach. Put fruit in a visible place. Not struggle, choice architecture. The Shaolin monks designed every element of the monastery's daily routine exactly this way. The right behavior had to be literally easier than the wrong behavior. Ask yourself, what action do you need most? What is preventing it from becoming the path of least resistance? And change that tonight. Principle 2, Shugyo. Discipline of the body as a door to the mind. Your brain and your body are one system. The direction of influence between them is bidirectional. When you lie curled up on the sofa, your body sends the brain a signal. We are in rest mode, no action required. But the moment you stand up, straighten yourself, take a few deep breaths, the signal changes. The brain enters readiness mode. The Shaolin monks began every day not with prayer and not with meditation. They began with movement because they knew you cannot force a sleepy mind into clarity, but you can force the body into movement, and the mind will wake up in its wake. Practically, when you feel paralysis and reluctance, don't think, don't analyze, don't look for motivation. Change your physical state. Stand up. Do 20 jumping jacks or 5 squats. Just move your body for 2 minutes. You think you first need to feel the desire, and then move. Shugyo says, first move, and the desire will come. Principle 3. Mushin. Empty mind as a starting point. One of the greatest paradoxes. The more you think about what you have to do, the harder it is to do it. I have to go to the gym, but I'm tired. But I promised, one day won't change anything. Round and round until the time has passed. Psychologists call this analysis paralysis. Mushin means empty mind, a state in which between intention and action there are no negotiations with yourself. There is only movement. Practically, reduce the distance between decision and action to 0. Researchers discovered the 5-second rule. When you feel an impulse to act, you have exactly 5 seconds before your brain generates reasons not to. But the Shaolin tradition goes further. Make the action happen automatically through the structure of your day. The monks didn't decide every morning whether to meditate. The decision was made once and for all. Structure killed the need for decision, and negotiations simply became impossible. Attach one important action to a specific trigger. After I wash my face, I immediately open my book for 5 minutes. Not when I feel like it. Trigger, action, no discussion. Principle 4, Tanden, acting from the center of power. In martial arts, Tanden is the center of physical and spiritual power, from which true, inexhaustible strength originates. Strength from the periphery is fragmented and quickly exhausted. When you try to act from the level of I should, I must, I promised, you are acting from external pressures. This power runs out quickly because it is not yours. But when you find your true inner center, a reason that resonates with who you are and who you want to be, you begin to act from Tanden. Find your center. Not, I want to lose 10 kilograms. Dig deeper. When I'm tired, I snap at my children, and I feel ashamed. That is real. My whole life I've abandoned things halfway, and I carry that shame. That is real power. When you find your true center, small obstacles lose their weight. The reluctance is still there, but it no longer has power, because beneath it, there is something deeper. Principle 5. Ite, one strike. In a real fight, there is no time for thought. There is only this moment, this movement, this action. The master doesn't think about what will happen after the strike. He is fully present in the strike itself. The most dangerous moment is not during action. It is before the beginning. Once you're already writing, you write, and the brain doesn't generate reasons to stop. Psychologists call this the point of no return, the moment when stopping becomes more uncomfortable than continuing. Your task is not to do all the work. Your task is to reach the point of no return. Don't tell yourself, now I will write the article. Say, now I will open the document and write the first sentence. Not, I'll go train, but I'll put on my sneakers and walk out the door. One strike. The smallest possible action that carries you across the threshold between not yet started and already in the process. Principle 6. Zanshin. Awareness after action. You finish something important and immediately reach for your phone, as if you can't bear the silence after completion. In the Shaolin tradition, this is a violation of one of the most important principles, Zanshin, remaining awareness. The master after victory does not relax immediately. He remains present for a few more seconds, becoming conscious of what has happened. Without Zanshin, actions become mechanical. You perform and forget. You move, but you don't grow. Practically, when you finish an action, before switching to something else, take a micro pause, 30 seconds. Ask, what did I just do? What do I feel right now? This is not reflection for the sake of reflection. Every time you become aware of a completed action and mark it as a success, the brain receives dopamine tied to that behavior. Over time, the action that once required effort begins to attract. The brain has learned to anticipate a reward from it. Principle 7. Makoho, wholeness without self-deception. Most people live in a state of chronic self-deception. I'll start after the vacation. I'm too tired today, but tomorrow for sure. Each of these statements may be true, or it may be a convenient fog. Makoho demands one thing: to look at yourself honestly. Not harshly, but honestly. The monks practiced evening reflection, a few minutes of silence to review the day. Not for self-punishment, for calibration. What did I do? What could I have done but didn't? What reason did I give myself? And was that reason the truth? Without Makoho, all the other principles will only work partially. You will always find a way to get around them if you leave yourself room for self-deception. Every evening, 5 minutes. 3 questions. What was I supposed to do? What did I do? What was the real reason for the difference? Over time, it becomes increasingly difficult to lie to yourself during the day, knowing that in the evening you will have to look at it honestly. Putting it all together. The Shaolin monks were not born without fear, without laziness, without doubt. They were human beings with all human weaknesses. But they built a system that made their weaknesses irrelevant. Wu Wei, they changed their environment so that the right action became the natural path. Shugyo, they used the body as a key to the mind. Mushin, they eliminated negotiations with themselves, making action automatic. Tanden, they acted from a deep center of meaning, not surface motivation. Ite, they focused only on the next step, not the entire journey. Zanshin, they recognized and imprinted every completion. Makoho, they looked at themselves honestly. None of these principles require special conditions. You don't need to be a monk. You only need one thing to begin, with the smallest step. Right now, what you will do today. One action. Today. Specific. Take that project, that habit, that task you've been putting off the longest. Ask, what is the smallest possible action in the direction of this, right now, in the next 5 minutes? Write one sentence. Make one phone call. Open one document. Walk out the door and take 100 steps. One strike. Ite. And when you take that step, stop for 30 seconds. Acknowledge what just happened. That is Zanshin. Bodhidharma stared at a wall for 9 years, not because the wall was interesting, but because he knew real change is measured not in leaps, but in the number of consecutive days in which you took your step, even when you didn't want to. You don't become a person who acts on the day you finally feel motivated. You become that person on the day you act, having no motivation at all. And that day can be today.